Jennifer Say's here with us now, founder, CEO of XXXY Athletics. Jennifer, an exciting day, especially for folks like Paula Scanlon and Riley Gaines, who've been really vocal advocates of this for many years now.
It is an exciting day. It's a major step forward. I mean, for the last 10 years or so, we've been pretending, the culture has, that the idea of biological reality is this sort of quaint and outdated idea. But I do want to be clear. Penn did this. They were coerced. They were forced into doing. They didn't do it out of any sort of moral epiphany. And, you know, their apology and their statement, I think, feels forced. It feels like it was made with a gun to their head. And they say outright that they're doing this now just to follow the law, and they were following the law in the past. They haven't had any sort of real recognition that what they did to the women on the team, women like Paula Scanlon, was wrong. They allowed them to be harassed. They allowed their records and their trophies to be stolen. And so I think we keep fighting. It's a major step forward. I think other universities will think twice before allowing such unfairness and such discrimination, because they don't want to be subjected to an investigation and possible loss of funds. But I don't think we've changed the culture. I don't think they really believe that they did anything wrong at this point. And that's the goal. That's where we have to get to.
Now, I'm watching those photos there of Riley Gaines, Leah Thomas there. And I'm just wondering, you know, going back, obviously you can't go back in time to 2022 to apply what we have now to then. But who would have been on that podium at that moment if you take biological men out of that sport? It's just a heartbreaker, it really is. But it put this trajectory, it changed the trajectory for these young women now, where they're speaking up, and your company doing the same, your organization rather, XXXY Athletics, recently releasing a video statement, which we see here, featuring several female athletes with a demand from the NCAA saying that even in the light of the Trump administration's actions, this sports organization is not doing enough to stand up for women and women's sports. You alluded to that. What else needs to be done, Jennifer, in your mind?
Well, at this point, you know, every woman that competed at those NCAA finals in 2022 was affected. Where are the apologies that are being issued to them? Every woman was forced to change in the locker room with Will Thomas, with a man parading around naked. The NCAA hasn't issued apologies to those women. And frankly, the NCAA policy is window dressing at this point. They've stated after the executive order was signed that you must be female to compete in women's sports. But the proof required is a birth certificate, and birth certificates can still be changed in 44 states. What we're asking for, and the women in the video are asking for, is sex testing. It's a one-time test. It's not invasive. You spit in a cup. It's really not a big deal. It's far less invasive than drug testing, which is already done. And so I think the NCAA is sort of playing both sides here. And it's really simple. If you're going to stand up for women, you require a sex test to qualify to compete as an actual woman in women's sports. And the NCAA has not done that yet, nor have they issued apologies to the women at those NCAA finals and the women that had to compete against him for the entire season from 2021 to 2022. So I still think we have a long way to go, and I want to know what the NCAA is going to do.
Yeah, again, those tests would determine if you are XX or XY. Hence the name of your company there. We talk a lot about these college athletes, and that's so important. You do want to have a focus on that, but we understand that this is happening in younger divisions as well. Is that something your group is keeping an eye on?
Absolutely. I mean, all Title IX governed sports should be making the right move. But we've seen in California, for instance, that males have won women's state track championships in California and many other blue states. And in fact, the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, is suing the federal government to continue to allow males to compete in women's sports, despite his statement several months ago that it was deeply unfair. So we definitely need to address it at the high school and the middle school level, and we need to address it in private club sports, which are not governed by Title IX. And frankly, that's the pipeline to the Olympics. That is the Olympic movement, and that isn't even governed by Title IX. And two-thirds of the athletes that are competing in the Olympic movement. You know, that is not within federally funded education institutions. I never competed under the governance of Title IX as a national champion gymnast. I only competed in the Olympic movement, and that there's been no change at all.
Information, truth, is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.